So we're gonna take a short ride around Kingsport this evening. Talk about some of the changes on the bike that I've made since the last video. So, a couple of notable changes is I went with forward controls on the bike. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I did go with forward controls on the 883. And I put cycle drag mufflers on it, so they're a little freer. I've changed the torque curve on the bike, so I don't have as much initial torque, from takeoff, but it does rev a little happier. So I like it. It sounds better, I think. Let's see what else. I put Dana low shocks on the rear. I don't know if I like them or not. They are, even on their lightest settings, they're setting noticeably stiffer. I wasn't quite expecting them to be that stiff. But I think it's something I could get used to. I do like that it sits a little lower, and the Dyna low shocks, the 12-inch shocks, they're black with black shock bodies and chrome caps. So I think it looks good against the back of the Sportster. But the 883 with the SMS and the cycle drag mufflers, it seems to be a little bit better. The only thing I think I have left to do in its current form is to maybe make some adjustment on the Vose system. I'm going to make some adjustments there just to see if I can I don't know, get it dialed in a little bit better. I'd like the ignition to stay advanced for as long as it can handle. But then again, I don't really know that I've got a good source that tells me whether or not we're turning on ignition advance or we're retarding the timing at a different vacuum level, so at idle, am I advanced or retarded? I don't really know. Like I said, it just seems to rev just a little bit better. I think the stock pipes, obviously they're restrictive, and I just don't think that this carburetor really liked it. It's probably way too much carburetor for the bike. think I've seen in some of the early forums, like it wasn't suggested to put an S&S on these bikes. So somebody did. Looks like we'll have a red light coming up here. See if you guys can hear this idle. I'll pop my visor open here. See if you guys can hear the takeoff. So it's just a short ride. It's actually kind of late. It's probably about 10:30. Yeah, I'm not convinced that I like these shocks yet. Because it's stiff, the bike kind of bounces around a lot more than what I'd like. I may end up with just some cheap flat shocks back there. I would like it lowered, but you know, I don't know that I want it this stiff. The stock shocks were, I don't know, they felt like they weren't doing much. It's, you know, they felt old. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I do have the microphone in a new location in the helmet, trying out different spots, trying to figure out where exactly this thing works the best. But bike pulls pretty well now, though, for sure. For sure, I like it. So the next, like I said, the next thing will be the VO system. Oh, and by the way, I am pulling about 50 miles to a gallon, between 50 and 53 with the current setup, with the current tuning. Obviously, I had to retune the carburetor, but man, I've got this thing. I feel like I've got it dialed in pretty well. But you know, when it's warm, it just touch the button and it fires right up, and idle's great. Just don't seem to have too much of an issue with it. But the next thing, what I was saying, the next thing that I touch will probably be the VO system. I don't know if that switch should come on a little earlier or if it should come on a little later. Not entirely sure. We'll see. At the end of the day, I'll do whatever the bike likes. somebody with a trailer. So this winter, I think I'm gonna do the 1275 kit on it. Bring this thing up to about 80, 75 to 80 horsepower at the rear wheel. I think I'm just gonna do the basic kit. I don't think I'm gonna do the head work. I mean, obviously there's a lot of value in that, but I don't know that I can justify the cost myself. For me, I just don't think that it's going to make a whole lot of sense. But we'll see. We'll see how this year wraps up for me. I've still got a couple of bikes that I've got to sell, and obviously I take that investment and put it into other bikes and then parts for my own bikes. So we'll see how this year wraps up. Now earlier you might have heard a little bit of a lower idle. This is where it is warm. And this is where I feel like it's pretty happy. This is the dreaded red light that will not switch for me on a motorcycle. So we're probably going to have to make the turn regardless. I don't know what this lady's doing. What are you doing? Yeah, there's nobody here. Oh, wait a minute. There's a couple cars. We'll wait. I hate that light. Sometimes you gotta go. There's no point in sitting there waiting for somebody to come along and help you with weight on the sensors. Like right now, the bike's feeling good on the rear seat. It doesn't feel that bad when you're out here cruising. The stiffer shocks in the rear. So I don't know. We'll see. like just with your fingertips. Like I said, tonight will be a quick video. Nothing too big. Just going to just kind of get out there. It's been pretty busy this week, so I haven't really had a chance to go ride.